The ability to simplify means to eliminate the unnecessary so that the necessary may speak. Our opening words by Hans Hoffmann. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Brighton Unitarian Church. My name's Jennifer. I'm the minister here. If you're here for the first time, a very special welcome, and we also welcome those, I look up here because it's up there, those people who are joining us online, you are welcome, and anyone who may see the service slightly later. So, for those of you who are new, we have been here for 205 years, 206 this year, and we practice a free and inclusive faith. When I use the word God, I invite you, if that doesn't resonate with you, to choose a word that does. That could be nature, could be spirit, could be, I have no idea. But welcome to you all. And to begin our service this morning, Wayne is going to light our chalice for us. Thank you. The chalice is a symbol of our faith. Like our faith, it is not magic, nor is it mysterious. We light it as a reminder of what we share as a community and of who each of us is called to be. Our chalice is also a commitment to each other and to ourselves. We light it today as a gathered community here, that we may understand more completely, act more boldly, and hope more fiercely. Let us come to a time of prayer. In this complex world we live in, may our prayers reach the part of us that long for a simple life, long for satisfaction in small things, a nourishing meal, a shared smile, the sound of bird song. May we grasp what is uncomplicated and nurture it in our hearts. When we feel lost in a chaotic world, may the light of our chalice show us a path. When we are afraid of the times we live in, may the light of our chalice give us courage. When we despair at the injustice and cruelty around us, may the light of our chalice recall us to a faithful hope. May the light guide our way. May it be so. We sing our first hymn this morning, 165, Walk in the Light, from the Purple Book. Zoe will play the first couple of lines just to introduce it, and you're welcome to sit or stand, whichever you feel comfortable to sing with us. So let's sing together, Walk in the Light. We're certainly walking in the light this morning. It's like blinding, it's like so joyful. So thank you for giving that up and coming in here for an hour. Our first reading this morning is by Courtney Carver. The rich industrialist from the north was horrified to find the southern fishermen lying lazily beside their boats, smoking their pipes. "Why aren't you fishing?" said the industrialist. Because I've caught enough fish for the day," said the fisherman. "Why don't you catch some more?" "What would I do with it?" "Well, you could earn more money," was the reply. "With that, you could have a motor fixed to your boat and go into deeper waters and catch more fish. Then you would make enough to buy nylon nets. These would bring you more fish and more money. Soon you would have enough money to own 2 boats, maybe even a fleet of boats. Then you would be rich like me." The fisherman said, "What would I do then?" The industrialist said, "Then you could really enjoy life." The fisherman replied, "What do you think I'm doing right now?" We sing again, no rest in this church, 125, again from the Purple Book, One More Step. Our second reading this morning is from a book written about minimalism by Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus. Both had grown up in poor and dysfunctional homes in America and had forsaken everything for the pursuit of money because they were sure that was going to make them happy. They both recalled, even though they earned a remarkable income, they didn't feel remarkable. They had accumulated trinkets of success, but something was missing. In 2011, they both walked away from their corporate jobs and they began the Minimalists, touring extensively with a few possessions, sharing their story. The following is Matt's simplicity story. He says, "I'm very slow and selective when it comes to labeling myself, so I don't call myself a minimalist, but I want to have a more simplistic life. I didn't like the clutter that surrounded me. I didn't like the unease I felt in a messy space. I didn't like keeping a calendar with every box filled. And I didn't enjoy being drained after overcommitting myself again. When I read the book by Joshua and Ryan, I jumped in. I was wildly successful in simplifying my efforts. My house is emptier, more peaceful, and easier to maintain. My calendar is empty, and my weeks are less rushed. But this is what I've gained from the simplicity. I apply these principles because my partner is important. I love them. I want them to have a partner who really knows them. I want to be interested in what they're doing, and I want to take the time to listen. I want to celebrate and give my best self. I live a simplistic life because my children are important. I want to pretend to be a dragon who roars, who chases them round the dining table. I want to teach them to manage their emotions. It's also because my parents are important. They won't always be here, but I want them to have someone who can spend lazy afternoons with them, listen to their stories of their long-dead relatives. I want them to have an adult child who says, "I love you." I choose this minimalist and simplistic life because those with whom I worship with are important. They are the people of my community, and I want to spend time with them. I want to be one among many who prays for them and with them. I also want to be joyful in their accomplishments. It was also because I want to have a full life, to have the greatest things at the center, so I can be a better person. A simplistic life is richer than ever I thought I could imagine. So we come to a time of reflection, a chance for us to go inward, to listen to the still small voice within, to allow ourselves the richness of just being here. Nothing to think, no list to make, no jobs to do. It's a simple practice to just be here, be now, with the breath. So we'll sit together in silence for a while. The best prayers are simple ones. No matter what befalls, no matter what you become, love awaits you always. Love knows you and serves you. God's love for you is unchanging within a changing world. We'll sing hymn, it's not really a hymn, it's a blessing. It's number 100 in the purple book. Please feel free to remain seated. Divine Spirit, God of all love, the mystery that is within us and surrounds us, we come here this morning with all that we are, all that we have, our brokenness, our defiance, our confusion, our joy. We're hoping for a reprieve from the rage, the complex political landscape, a reprieve from suffering, a reprieve from fighting. May in this moment we can experience the beauty and the joy of being together. The safety of being able to worship together. The simple gift of a song and a blessing. A balm for the soul. A balm for our own souls. And a balm for those souls that maybe we feel we can never reach. Amen and blessed be. Thank you, Zoe. We've had a chance, haven't we, in this first part of our service to listen to some beautiful music and to sing together, to reflect together, to walk here in the light. All really simple but rich things. I don't know about you, but I feel it. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm being filled up. The person with the biggest bank account on earth is as poor as the person in jail with the biggest debt, if neither has the right spiritual currency. Once upon a time, there was a rich person. They produced abundantly. They thought to themselves, what should I do? I have no space to store my crops. I know what I'll do. I'll pull down my barns and build larger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. And I will say to my soul, you have ample goods laid up for years. Relax, eat, drink, and be merry. But there was a voice who said, you fool, this very night your life is being demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be? Those who store up treasures for themselves, but are not rich towards the God of their understanding. Some of you may recognize that as the parable of the rich fool. He had a plan for his life, wrapped up in his possessions, bound with goods, which neither he had brought into the world, nor would he take from the world. We could easily argue that this person was wise, responsible, thriving. Land was producing so much abundance that he would build bigger stores to store all his grain and ample savings. And yet, there was no gratitude in his voice from those who brought him to that point, and no thought of sharing it with others. Have we ever been in that space? No matter how much we have, we're always aware of the things that we don't have. I don't think it's that God or nature or whatever you believe in doesn't want us to save for our retirement or our future needs. It's also about wanting to have joy and be merry. But it's also that balance of having gratitude for those things. I was off work last week, and amongst some of the jobs I did, I went to the tip. You know that thing, you go to the tip when you're off for a week. And there was a bit of shame in some of the stuff that I was putting in. Part of me was going, well, that's great. You're taking it to the recycling and they can recycle this and do that. But actually there was an uncomfortability that some of those things I'd bought and I hadn't really used or hadn't really looked after. They were things that I'd acquired in those moments where I must have that thing. And then it took up space, and then it became junk, and then it became rubbish. If we look at all the holy teachers, most of them have lived in a way in the same world that we've lived. Lands of property disputes, seasons with harvests, worlds of conflict and disputes. But most of them had quite a simple life. Jesus went fishing in the morning, caught catnaps in the afternoon. He let children play in his lap. He had worry about where his next meal was coming from. He could be warm with tenderness and ablaze with anger. But he spoke very simply. He didn't finish all of the urgent tasks he had liked to have done. Buddhists talk about the middle way. Whilst they recognize material needs are important, it's also about being able to realize our potential in life. I remember a time in my life, it was in my mid-20s, When I went traveling in Europe and Middle East and India, off I went to find myself. And I started with this hefty backpack. It was huge. It was like the whole size. And I was like this. I had everything, from a mosquito net to you name it, I had it in my backpack. As time passed, I got fed up with carrying this heavy load of stuff and started to offload it. There were things that weren't so necessary. By the time I returned some 18 months later, I had a pack about this size, had a change of clothes, a bar of soap, still had my mosquito net in it, a book, a pencil, and some notepaper, passport, money. And I remember coming back to all this stuff. Clothes I hadn't worn, books I hadn't read, trinkets, china, this, that, And for several weeks, I stayed in the same clothes, much to my parents' distress. Because I was living that sort of simple life of just what I needed. Of course, it changed. I got a job, I had to wear different clothes, and then I started acquiring, and then several months later, I ended up in the tip run. Some of you may know of the little shack that sells coffee and tea. It's down that way, outside of Brighton. It's in Ovingdean. It's been there forever. It's changed very little. And there's a notice inside, and it's been written on the back of a crisp box. And it says, "We have instant coffee and milk. Sugar if you ask politely. No lattes, no cappuccinos, no Americanos, no instant coffee." Now, as some of you know, I do like an Americano. And there are certain places in Brighton I will only purchase it from. But when I return to that place, it's almost like I breathe out. It's like, just got the basics. Cup of straightforward tea or coffee, a toilet, basic snacks, water, beautiful view, no complicated menu. And it's like, I'm wondering if you have some of those stories when you've been able to let go of the complications and just be able to be in that moment with what you have in your wallet or the only one book that you have. Maybe when you've traveled or gone on holiday, you've just got those things in your case and nothing else. And that's it. You can't wear what's in your wardrobe because you're several thousand miles away. There's a lightness to it. It's of course not light if you have forgotten your passport or your medication. I'm not making light of it. But that sense of the uncomplicated. I think we all at one time or another in our lives will get confronted with that aching need, that desire for simplicity. And yet, in order to have that, we have to confront the soul ache within. Why we're driven to consume, to be busy. And it's a discipline to make our lives more simple. Visakha Dasi is a Hare Krishna devotee who lives in the Bhaktivedanta Manor in Watford. He's been there for many years. He has written extensively about his struggles to adhere to the principles of Krishna consciousness, which are simple living and high thinking. His teacher, Srila Bhabhuta, came to the Western world with nothing. Hardly any money, hardly any possessions, but came to spread the word of Krishna consciousness to the West. Visakha Dasi talks about, how do I do that? How do I live simply and have high thinking? What does that mean? Yes, his daily life, it's up at 4, milk the cows and do his devotions, and all of that is set out for him. But he talks about when he comes to sit with himself, it's far from simplistic. Because he carries this around. So he struggles on a daily basis to sit, let go of the complicated thoughts, think about his every thought and deed, living simply, dressing simply, eating simply, and trying to behave simply. For those of you that may have visited the Bhaktivedanta Manor, it's a beautiful place, and the shrines inside are off the scale. They, to Radha and Krishna and this, they're just full of beauty. And some might say, well, that's really complicated. That's a complicated way of devoting yourself. And yet, we've seen them in Brighton, their simple robes, a mark on their forehead, a thakur, and they're chanting. It's simple, beautiful, almost childlike. So how do we balance our material and spiritual needs? And where does that leave us as Unitarians or free thinkers? We're faced with TikTok, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. It's all being thrown at us all the time. You need this, you must do that. Take this, buy this, study this. Even Sunday sermons, people would say, are pretty complicated. I'm trying not to make it complicated, but... I was reading some old papers of Unitarianism, and in one, it talks about outwardly simple and inwardly rich, which I really liked. Bang on target. Anyone would think that I'd ordered that. Their recycling is definitely not simple. So we sort of know what outwardly simple looks like. Lessen the clutter that we have, be grateful for the things that we have, maybe not acquire too much. Very difficult if you are a gardener and go to a garden centre and always think one more plant is, I can fit one more plant in. But how do we become inwardly rich? This is the paradox. In order to be inwardly rich, we have to let go of the outward. And in order to let go of the outward, we have to become inwardly rich. What we want is both a spiritual and material simplicity, being devoted neither to the world alone or to God alone, whichever God you choose to follow. Not living for capitalist consumer culture or living in a perpetual retreat. The challenge is to live in balance with both. And I don't have the answer. But what I do have is an invitation for us all to maybe spend the next few days thinking about where our time goes, thinking about what surrounds us, our material goods. What do we really need to have a rich life? And if we don't know where to start, we could begin with a simple prayer. Late one evening, a poor farmer on their way back from the market found themselves without their prayer book. The wheel of their cart had come off right in the middle of the woods, and it distressed them. And this day should pass without him having to have said his prayers. So this is the prayer they made. I've done something very foolish, God. I came away from home this morning without my prayer book, and my memory is such that I cannot recite a single prayer without it. So this is what I'm going to do. I shall recite the alphabet 5 times, very slowly, and you, to whom all prayers are known, can put the letters together to form the prayers that I can't remember. God said to their angels, "Of all the prayers I've heard today, this one was undoubtedly the best, because it came from the heart. It was simple and sincere." Amen, and blessed be. Before our final hymn, and I'm looking at Zoe because I've changed the order, we will do the offertory. So if you have some spare change in your pocket and are able to gift it to us, I can assure you that it goes to looking after this church, looking after all the things that we do here, and also mends a few things. Some of you may notice that the doors are in the midst of being redecorated. So if you have funds, please give them. There's also a card reader after if you want to use that. But please do not be concerned in any way if you don't, because the richness is having you here today. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions. So we come to our final hymn. We could only really sing number 146 in the Green Book, Hymns for Living, and it's True Simplicity. Simple living is about moving through life rather lightly, delighting in the plain and the subtle. May we do things, just a few of them, and do them well. Simple joys are holy. Amen.
Thank you, Jennifer, for leading our service today. Thank you, Zoe, for playing the music, but also I was thinking just then, also selecting really nice music for us to listen to as well. And Stuart, thank you very much for setting up, and Fiona is doing the teas and coffees today. We have Online Heart and Soul, which is going to be led, I think, by you. Susie, and if you'd like any more information about that, then please do speak to Susie, who's in a white coat there, but also you can talk to Jen. Jen today is our person to talk to if you would like to know anything at all about the church. And if you don't know anything about Heart and Soul that you'd like to, and you don't get a chance to speak to Susie, do just email into the church and Kat can direct you. And on Wednesday, we have Music and Silence. That'll be first of all piano at 12:15, and then at 1 o'clock, Quiet Reflection, which will be led by our minister, Jennifer. On Friday, we have the lunchtime concert, and this Friday we're going to have recitalists Jennifer Yancey, I think is how you say it, on cello, and Fiona Harrison on guitar, and they'll be presenting apparently a flavour-filled programme, sounds good, featuring Vivaldi, Ravel, Glazunov, and folk tunes, and Richard Charleston's contemplative As the Rain Passes. So, do come along to that if you wish. Summer school. Every year there's Unitarian Summer School, and that takes place in Hucklow. Is that in Yorkshire? Or... Sorry, Derbyshire. Lovely. I've never been. There's some notices up there, but it is actually full. So it's at the end of August, last third week of August, I think. It is full, but there are still spaces in the online group. So do have a look, and I'm sure, Jennifer, people can approach you if they'd like to about that. Now, I think people will have had an email about gift aid. So if you're a UK taxpayer and you give money to the church, and we know it's you, then the church is able to receive a percentage of that in addition from HMRC, I imagine, yeah. So you may have had an email about that, but if you haven't and you're interested, these are going to be on the table. Also going back a bit, next Sunday, Stuart Deeks, I remember Stuart Deeks, who's a musician, he's going to be facilitating the Irregular Choir, which is a nice little sort of workshop of singing together, making sounds, I'd say, but really lovely and feels very safe. Stuart's not here today, but you're quite familiar with it, aren't you, Jen? You can talk to anybody who would like to hear more about that. I think that's it. Next week, our service will be led by our friend from Sevenoaks, Eleanor Chiari. Do come along to that. And have I missed anything? I don't think so. No. So teas and coffees will be coming in a moment. So do stay around for chats and that if you like, or just stay around and be quiet, that's fine, or do whatever you want and have a good day.